millennial woman's journey. Hopefully you can see me on camera. Since my last video, I knew my legs were gonna get pins and needles, so I moved to the side so I could stretch them out. Okay, so today we're gonna be going through my finances for February. I've made a little bit of progress. And I've kind of been feeling down about my progress. I'm sure this happens to people as well when you're on track for a goal and it's more of a long-term goal. The little bit of progress that you do see, it feels like it's not enough or where you want to be quite yet. And so it's easy to get discouraged even when you're making that progress. Kind of like our mind plays tricks on us. So we're gonna get into that, but for right now I did want to review my financial goals for 2024 that I set in January, and now since it's February, I got my first paycheck in February. I just want to make sure that I'm keeping track of my goals and I'm actually doing them and working towards them, right? Because it's easy to set goals, but it's harder to continue the process of going on those goals. So setting up a debit card for my utilities bank account, because Netflix doesn't take the actual account number. I need a debit card for that, and I don't really like paying with a credit card or another bank account. For example, putting the money that I owe Netflix into, say, my rent bank account that's set up to a debit card. I want a separate debit card for my utilities bank account so that when I put my Netflix amount into my utilities bank account, it's literally just taking out of that and I don't have to worry about it. To do this, I have to wake up early on a Saturday and go to the bank and go inside the bank. And if you know anything about social anxiety post-pandemic and just like waking post-pandemic, going inside stores right now is pretty hard. So I have not accomplished this, which is okay. So my next financial goal for 2024 is to spend $120 per month on my healthcare flex spending debit card. So in other words, it's called the HFSA or FSA, where I contribute $60 per paycheck to put into this fund. And these funds are pre-tax, so it's, a bit more helpful for me because I'm technically getting more money, because the money's not post-tax, and I could use this money on healthcare expenses. So I do have regular healthcare expenses like my psychiatrist copay, my therapy copay, my medicine copay. So I set it up so that $120 per month is going into that card, and you get actually the balance in the beginning of the year. So you could use more than what you're contributing. It's just that for the rest of the year, I'm going to have that $60 coming out of my paycheck, no matter if I spend it all now. So the reason that this is my goal is because I just want to keep track of it. I just don't want money left over at the end of the year and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't even use this money. What was the point of it? So I kind of just want to be on par with what it's taking out of my paycheck. And so far so good in between copays and my medicine expense. No dipping into sinking funds to cover expenses. I left this off because I actually did this the last paycheck. But it wasn't for eating out. So I dipped into my sinking funds for insurances, which we could get into when we go over my budget. I dipped in $20 because I went to the bank and I didn't have money at that point. I had like $8 in my bank account. but I had money in the sinking fund and I wanted quarters for laundry, and I've kind of been using those quarters for toll money to get to work when I'm running late. So that is why I dipped into the sinking fund. It wasn't necessarily that it was to cover eating out. It was kind of for another reason. So I left this off of my goals list right now because I have done it. Paying off credit card debt. Yes, I am still paying off my credit card debt. We will get into that, but I have exciting news in regards to that. My debt is definitely less now. Increasing income. It's February now, March, so next month there should be an increase in income, hopefully, fingers crossed. My boss has been talking about giving pay increases in March. So, again, fingers crossed. I hope that is more money. Yeah, I just hope and pray. Last one, track and decrease eating out expenses. I don't know if I'm decreasing my eating out expenses because I've never tracked before, but this was super eye-opening. So I tracked, you'll see it in this video, I tracked all of my eating out for January, and I was shocked. I was like, oh heck to the no. I was like, oh wow, Taylor. So I did it this morning, and then right before this video I went to go cook my own breakfast because I was debating getting a Grubhub for breakfast, like a coffee and some sort of like French toast or whatever. And I was like, oh heck no, Taylor, get up and make yourself some breakfast. So that is what I did. So definitely tracking that. You'll see more later on. And then start contribution to my 401k. So finally, I hit a year in March technically, and that's when you're eligible to begin contributions after a year of employment at my current place. But they gave it to me early, probably because I'm HR and I have like access to like the whole spread online. So I kind of got it in early a little bit because I checked with someone who started with me around the same time and they haven't gotten the go ahead to start that. Sorry, just taking a sip of coffee so it doesn't get cold. So starting contribution, my contribution is all set up. I want to match what my company matches, so I'm going to do 2% of my paycheck Roth, which comes out to $100 per paycheck, and then they're contributing $2 traditionally, and so it's like 4% total, so it'd be $200 per paycheck. Is that right? It's either $200 per paycheck or per month. Now I have to look at that again. I think it's $100 per month, and then I don't know. This is a good point. I don't know if it's $100 per paycheck or per month, but we're gonna find out. I got paid this February, and I didn't see the contribution come out yet. So I'm hoping at the end of February, my second paycheck in February, I'll get more of a sense of what that's going to look like, and that will start. So I'm very proud of myself for signing up for that. So let's click next. Okay, so as you can see, this is our payroll calendar. February 9th is the pay date that we're budgeting for now, and then like I said, hopefully by the 23rd of February I'll have more insight into the 401k contribution at least. So because we got paid on the 9th and the money has to last us till the 23rd, I just go ahead and make sure all of my bills that are due in between that time are paid. So you can see I have a Netflix bill on the 10th. I have my American Express Blue credit card. I think this is the Skyline Sky Miles one, I'm pretty sure that's due on the 13th. Then I have my phone bill due on the 15th. I have the American Express Clear credit card, which is their everyday preferred credit card, due on the 15th. And then on the 22nd, I have my internet bill due, and that's it. I do break my rent bill out into each paycheck because it's so much. So you'll see that as well when we get into my budget. So coming here, I put my regular income, so I put my paycheck amount, gross amount, which we will never see, is $2,307.69. And then after taxes, after my insurance, because I do medical, dental, vision, my net pay basically was $1,763.50. I do just separate out my healthcare flex spending account contribution and the balance, so that again I can keep track of that. So currently my total balance for the FSA for the whole entire year is $1,404.97. So that's what I have remaining up until 2025, right, or the end of December of 2024. So my total income is there $1,823.50, because I do add the FSA contribution to my pay technically. But you'll see sometimes I spend more than that, sometimes I spend less than that. It just depends. So unallocated costs, I did wind up eating out, when was this? I would say yesterday or the day before that. I wound up spending $34.93 on takeout and delivery. I spent that money. This was the first time that I've ate out in February, and it's February 10th now, so it's still at the beginning of the month. And I really did that because it was like a treat for me, and you'll see why when we get into the debt part. But it was a little treat for me. I was like, yes, I'm proud of myself. Let's eat out. Like, let's spend a little bit. So that's what I did. And for expenses in our home category, we have rent. Rent is due at the end of the month. There's 29 days in February, so it's due on the 29th. And like I said before, I section out my rent every single paycheck, so it comes out to $726.50. And that is half of my rent basically. For sinking funds, which is what I talked about before, you'll see my insurances in my sinking funds. What that means is I don't pay insurances every single month. I pay either yearly for some or every 6 months for some as well. So my rental insurance, I pretty much put away $13 per paycheck every single time. I think that's paying a little bit more than I have to. I think it should be like $13 a month, but I just put it aside anyway. For phone, out of our home category still, my phone bill is $66.65. Again, that's due on the 15th. And my internet bill is also due, and that comes out to $82.79. That's due the 22nd. For transportation categories, I did have to put down a few hundred on some car maintenance back in January because I needed a new battery. Actually, I woke up, got ready for work as normal, started my car would not start. I was like, oh boy. And that's the first time it's ever happened to me, and I've had my car since I was 16 years old. Had it for a while, so it's an older car now, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that it's an older car because it was new to me and it's still new to me. So we're still wrapping our head around that for sure. But luckily nothing has happened in February so far, knock on wood. I'm just gonna knock on my coffee table. And so our fuel, I budget out $35 every single paycheck, and that comes out to for the month $70. And then another part of my sinking funds is my auto insurance, because I don't pay every month, I pay every 6 months, and I do $63 every single paycheck to go towards that. For daily living category, always for groceries every single week, I put, ooh, maybe this should be 400. Guys, I might have made an error for this. No. Scratch everything I just said. My fuel, every single week, I put in $35. So per paycheck, I'm spending $70 on gas. Per month, it's $140. Going back to groceries, per week, I spend $100 on groceries. So every paycheck is $200, and then every month is $400. So yes, that's accurate. With groceries though, I do spend on household products as well. So if I need like laundry detergent, or if I need toilet paper, or if I need even beauty products, so like hair conditioner or body wash, anything like that, that's included in my $100 per week. So I section it out between coffee. Let me take another sip of coffee, because clearly I want coffee. I don't section it out. Well, I do, I guess. I section it out between like Nespresso refills. So if I need Nespresso pods, if I need spices, if I need pantry items, if I need a restock for baking goods, if I need a restock for beverages, whatever it is in beauty, household items, and groceries is within that budget. For laundry, I do need quarters to do the machines downstairs. I usually budget $40 for that, but did I go to the bank today? No, because I do have some quarters still. So I probably have less than $20 worth of quarters, I'm gonna say, but that's definitely enough to do the laundry that I have to get done this week. For entertainment category, I just have one subscription. I'm kind of glad, because I just canceled my Google storage subscription that was like $20 for a whole year or something. I don't know, but it came up as like a renewal, and I was like, oh no, I'm canceling this. So really the only subscription that I have right now that I keep current is my Netflix, and that's partially because my parents are on. Like, I pay for mine, and I pay for my parents' households as well, which comes out to $25.04 per month, and it's due on the 10th. Probably though, if they weren't on it, I most likely would have gotten rid of this, but I keep it. I mean, you know, you gotta have something to watch. I don't know. I just keep it. Whatever. As you can see, I'm bare bones here on my expense list, so I try my best to keep it very minimal, so I feel like splurging $25.04. Yes, I could do better. I'm going to put that in quotes, but, you know, it's my life. I get to make the choices I want to make too, so that's cool. And then the health category, I don't have any co-pays this paycheck, because I just had therapy, and I go every 3 weeks, and then my psychiatrist appointment, I go maybe like every 2 months or something like that. But I will need a refill on my medicine, so I'll probably check in with my psychiatrist once I'm getting low, probably next week, but that will come out of my FSA debit card, so I don't even have to worry about it. Meaning it'll come out of the $1,404.97 total balance that I have left on my FSA. And so my medicine, since it's the beginning of the year, it actually got really expensive. I was not expecting this. It used to be like $30 or even $20. Now it's $50.03, which I feel like is so expensive. So I don't know. I have to call my insurance on that and kind of see what's going on and what I can do. But yeah, I feel like it's kind of expensive. Okay, for debts. So we do have, oh, I didn't take off my Chase. Oh no, guys. Okay, so that should not say Chase credit card because, dun, 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 drum roll, I paid off my Chase credit card. Yay! So, yes. I am so happy. So happy. Oh, I know why I did this. I think because I wanted to show you that I just paid it off and the amount that I paid off. Yes. Okay, cool. I was like, why did I put this here? So the American Express Blue credit card is due within this paycheck, right? It's due on the 13th, and my minimum payment, which I will be making, is $85. My American Express Clear credit card, the Everyday Preferred, is due on the 15th, and the minimum payment that I need to make is $211, which I will be doing. Those are already set, scheduled, ready to go. They automatically come out of my bank account. The money's already in there. The Chase credit card, so I had, forget the due date because we're not waiting until February 24th. That bad boy is already zero, and I even already closed out that bad boy. Okay, so I paid this paycheck technically, and I'll talk about a little bit about that. But I paid $977.40 to get the amount to zero. So now the amount is zero. I no longer have Chase. Actually, I literally have the credit card right here, and I am shredding this. Okay, shredding it. Okay, so the money that I got from, you'll see that obviously my total income does not match up with what I paid on my Chase credit card. That is because I got my federal refund. My tax refund, I did it super early, and so I have already gotten back the IRS federal refund. So I used that money to pay off my Chase credit card. I am still waiting for, obviously I don't get a lot, by the way, in my refund, as you can see. I'm still waiting for my state refund. I live in New Jersey, so I'm waiting for the New Jersey state refund to hit my bank, and then I will tackle my next credit card. But just so you know, that Chase bill is gone, and we'll get into my debts in a second. So, tracking FSA, I wanted to do this again because I told you I don't want to have the end of the year come and then me have all of this money and not know what to do with it. So for right now, since February, I've spent $70 already. That was on 2 therapy copays that she just forgot to bill me for the copay before, so I just paid them twice together. I had to remind her during our last session that I never got a payment for the last one. So 35 and 35. Ooh, yay, that's another point, which is I got my therapy copay down from $60 to $35 because I reached out to her and I was like, hey, can you just double check my copay because my insurance is coming up as $35, not $60, and I had been paying a copay of $60. So very proud of myself for doing that because now it's $35 every single time I go. Okay, so not going to get into more of this. You kind of already know what is going on. So I really want this to like just circulate. One paid off, yes. Okay, cool. I love that that's there. It makes me super happy. So yeah, so I paid off my Chase credit card. The amount is 0, but I still have $20,000, $586.04 worth of debt. So this is where I get like discouraged, I would say, is when I still look at my balance. So I feel like me making all of this for you as a visual, but also it's a visual for me because it keeps me going. Even when you could probably tell, even when I said my total debt balance, it still feels so heavy for me, right? And it is heavy. It's a very large amount of money that I should have never gotten myself into, but we're here now, so there's nothing we can do about it but get out of it, right? So it still feels heavy, but having this one paid off sign with the decorations and stuff and it being in my face, honestly, off camera I might just stare at this for a little bit because like, this is awesome, this is amazing, this is exactly the type of progress I want to see, to remind me that just keep going till it's going to get better. Okay, so we have obviously the 2 American Expresses. I already went over my monthly minimums for that. I'm unfortunately not going to be paying any more on those until I get this NJ State tax refund. The debt number 1 is the one that I'm going to be probably diving into next. So reason for that being the APR, so 7.99% interest rate currently, and between that and my Apple one, their amount or their total balance is pretty similar. It's $300 off. So might as well tackle that one, just because it's going to be the quickest versus the $10,000 900 one, which is my second one. So my American Express Clear credit card has the same APR of 7.99% interest, but the balance is way different than my other American Express. So this one is a balance of $10,916.84. And I just know it's going to take me a lot longer, right? So I'm going to be tackling the American Express Blue credit card first. And then we're going to see what happens. I don't really know which one I'm going to tackle next. I kind of have my plan to tackle the American Express Clear, but let's talk about that in the future. Don't know what the future holds. And then lastly, my third debt is my Apple credit card. It's at 0% interest right now. I'm on payment plans for all 3 of these, like I said in my first financial video. So if you want to go back and watch the January 2024 video, I kind of explained that I'm on financial assistance programs for all of these. My monthly minimums are lowered as well as my interest rates are lowered. So my monthly minimum for the Apple is $53.61. That's basically what I pay. I have not, since I've signed up for all the financial assistance programs, I have not paid any more than I needed to on the Apple. I'm just so glad to be getting rid of Chase because if you watched the last video, you know that Chase did not work with me on a financial assistance program. It had the highest APR, it's probably like 27 to 29% in that range. And yeah, it was just horrible. So with my NJ State tax refund, I should be able to knock down my American Express Blue credit card to, I'm gonna guess, like 3,600, 3,500, 3,400, somewhere around that range. So that's gonna give me a nice like jump start, I feel like, to paying off the second credit card and just like being on a roll, basically. basically. So yes, so our highest debt total that I could find in record, that I actually wrote down, was $25,273.71. So basically, we're debt paid off. We're $4,687.67. That's how much we've paid off in debt so far. It's just the beginning. I know my debt total is still high, but I have to remind myself that it's just the beginning. You have to start somewhere, and you just have to keep going. Like, consistency is the only thing that's gonna really pay this off. So this is my last tracking. I said one of my goals was to track this. So my eating out expense tracker, January, in the month of January, on eating out, and this is just, by the way, like, this is doing girl math, which is I pulled up my Grubhub app, and I just calculated everything from January 1st to the end of January. So girl math was $489.98 were spent on eating out. I think it was more because I might have put something on my debit card that I did not look at. Meaning I was like at work and maybe I had cash on me and I was like, oh, like, here's $10. Yeah, I'll go get a bagel or whatever. Or yeah, I want a salad for lunch, and I had like the money somewhere. So that's girl math. You know that, right? Like, it doesn't really count because you had the cash on you, so whatever. We're not really tracking that. Okay, and it's February 10th today, so it's still early in February, but currently I only ate out once, which was like 2 days ago or yesterday, and that came out to $34.93. Big difference. I do know in January I did have probably a week or so where I wasn't big on groceries. Like, I was doing pretty poorly on getting groceries, getting in the habit of cooking, right? Like, not wanting to cook for myself, kind of in this funk. And I do struggle with depression, so it makes sense. Seeing this track though, I kind of want to focus on this and see like how the depression plays into me eating out and my expenses with that. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting for me myself. Definitely something to process maybe in therapy as well. So it's good to kind of track this way. So that is all. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm kind of excited because, again, I did pay off that one credit card. So I'm just going to go back to this because it makes me happy. I'm probably going to literally watch this off camera and just stare at it. But yeah, I'm happy with where we're at in the beginning of February this year. So yes. All right, thank you for coming along with me on this journey. I hope that this is helpful to you as well. If you're paying off debt and you feel like there is no end, and you feel like taking the small steps is leading to no steps, it feels like the small steps are no steps, I'm here to tell you that the small steps are working towards your goal. Even if it doesn't feel like it, even if you can't see it right now, even if you still get stressed out when you're seeing the total debt balance, it's okay, girl. It's okay. We got this. We're going to keep going, okay? All right. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.